Good evening. 4 questions that many leaders overlook. Bet you're wondering about it. Any of you ever question what it is you do for a living, or maybe what you would do if you had another chance to do it? Yeah, I see some nods. A little bit of questioning. Linda may even be thinking about that right now. What you find is, I know somebody who was excited about it and started questioning himself. What can I do, he thought. He said, I'm here in Florida, I've been here all along, but you know what I'd really like to do is, I'd really like to move to Minnesota and be a lumberjack. So, he got an axe, went to Minnesota, and there he was. And he found himself going from tree farm to tree farm saying, are you looking for any lumberjacks? And believe it or not, they weren't. Kind of surprised, he thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But late in the day, the 3rd day he'd been looking, he found a place. And they said, absolutely, we really are looking for someone. We're so far out that we find that the lumberjacks get all kind of gobbled up, so we're willing to take a chance on someone new. So he said, all right, he was so excited. He went out the first day, and he cut down 14 trees. And he really didn't know if that was good or bad, but when he talked to the owner of the place, he said, 14 trees? This is unbelievable. We have not seen 14 trees in I don't know how long. We can't wait. Definitely we want you on board. Come back tomorrow, same drill. So he comes back the next day and he keeps cutting his trees and he keeps cutting his trees. And he's not only seeing that, he's seeing his mind kind of form and different thoughts and his body changing. So he's getting really excited about it. But pretty soon, a week passes and he's only getting 12 trees. And he thought, I'll stop taking lunch. I'm going to come in a little early. I'm going to stay a little late. So he did all that. But a couple weeks passed, and he's only getting 9 trees. He said to the owner of the place, he said, I'm a little concerned. He goes, well, 10 is really what we're shooting for, so your average overall is okay, but, take a look and see. A couple weeks go by, he's got 5 trees now. And he's working so late till it's dark, he's skipping lunch, he's coming in before dawn, waiting for the sun to rise, and he went to the owner and said, you probably want to fire me. I really don't know what else to do. He said, I just work so hard, and I want to do really well. And the manager said, I'm just going to ask you this one question. When was the last time you sharpened your axe? He said, oh, I've been so busy thinking about all of the trees and all of the work that I could do and how great this was. I haven't made time to sharpen my axe. So I ask you, when was the last time you sharpened your axe? That's what the 4 questions is really about. And our goal of the 4 questions that leaders overlook is to share 4 direct and high-impact questions for leaders to use sincerely, to connect with, learn from, and grow with their team members. Sounds like something that you'd like to hear more about?
Yeah.
Of course. So our agenda is the reasons they get overlooked. What the questions are, you probably have to know that, and what to do with the answers. So it's not just about the questions, just like the guy who got asked about sharpening his axe. He had to do something about it. So with that, the reasons they get overlooked. Well, some of you have heard me say this before. There are only 3 reasons things don't happen in this world. People don't know, they don't know how, or they don't want to. When we think about questions for leaders to ask their team members, if they don't know, it's because they've got to be about to cover it. It's like, I don't know, how do I cover it? Maybe it leads into the how, but we're about to cover the don't know. And the don't know how, you have to be sincere. How many times have you known someone who asks, how are you, and just keeps going? Has that ever happened? Ooh, just put your head down if you've done it yourself, right? So with that, if people don't want to, it's got to be mutually beneficial. Some leaders think if I ask questions, people will just complain. So we're about to cover the don't know. We know we want to be sincere, and it's got to be mutually beneficial. Is there anything I'm missing there, or are we all in agreement? We're in agreement? Okay. Sounds good. So the 4 questions, this is the don't know. The 4 questions are this. What's going well for you personally and professionally? Now sometimes people say, I don't really want to ask them the personally and professionally. Make sure you ask what's going well for you. And then hold on to your seat, listen. Listen to what each person says on your team. It's going to be different for each of them. And when you get that information, ask more questions if you want. Just resist asking them things that lead them into a negative. So take it in, repeat back. So it sounds like this is going well for you. Make sure you're really hearing them. So the next question, what would you like to see improve personally and professionally? Again, if you're not comfortable with the personal side, maybe it's your first time asking, you might just want to go with what would you like to see improved here? If it's your business, your school, your practice, whatever it is. So what would you like to see improved? The challenge with this is to not defend it. When they say what they would like, we're back to the listen. And that means take it in. You may want to say, how could we do that? In what way do you mean? And get a little more information. But instead of telling them the reasons you can't or won't, just take it in. Third question, what makes you want to stay here? Could be personally and professionally. Sometimes these are the things about, my family needs the money, you may hear that. That doesn't mean you have to feel guilty. That means you're providing something for someone that's of value. Professionally, they may say, I get great feedback, I get good leadership, or you might hear something like, it's close to my house, and it's got to be okay. And then, what would cause you to go, personally or professionally? Sometimes people have parents that live elsewhere and they may go take care of them. Wouldn't it be great if you knew that and cared about their personal lives as well? Not to abuse it or take advantage of it, but to really feel that compassion and be empathetic with what they're experiencing in their lives. But professionally, I can tell you one of my experiences, we asked these questions, and a lot of stay-at-home parents work there, or excuse me, a lot of parents who used to stay at home started working there. Their kids go to school, and if they moved more than 15 minutes from that location, they would have left because they couldn't get their kids in time for school. The CEO I was working with was considering moving about 20 minutes away and decided not to do it. Now, would everybody have quit? I don't know. But that was the key feedback when we said, what would cause you to go? I can tell you many leaders tell me, I don't really want to know this. But you know what you do? You want to know it whether you know it or not. Because if we don't know what we don't know, it can be more dangerous for our business. So what do we do? So now we have all this information, we've only been able to listen. What do we do? Well, we think about to share these with high impact. Well, if it's a high impact question, what can we do with it? Give high impact feedback. What's going well? Remember to recognize them. What can you improve? Is it realistic or not? Use that as a session where you're getting the feedback. And then if you use them sincerely, what you can do is learn about them. And you can become less of just the leader who happens to be in that position and more of that leader who cares. So if you use these items to get to know people, be sincere in it, and assist with how your business is run, you can not only make friendships and get closer with people who work with you, you can actually prosper as a result of caring. So how did we do? We wanted to share these 4 direct high-impact questions so that you as leaders could connect with, learn from, and grow with your team members. Did we do that? Yes? Okay. Well, remember, we got to learn, we got to make the decisions, we got to improve, and we got to recognize. And those are part of all of it when we bring that high impact together with the 4 questions that we asked. And when we look back, there were reasons they got overlooked. A lot of them was just people didn't know it. They don't know about these questions. It's not people say, oh, I'm just going to ignore them. But the 4 questions, that was the information we gave, and how to use it, and how to get that, and then what you do with it once you have it. Because knowledge, just knowing the information, isn't that powerful. It's the application and the sharing of the knowledge that makes things a real high impact and great in power. So remember, keep sharpening your axe in each way you go, in each day you live, and with each question you ask. Thank you for being interested in and participating in the 4 questions many leaders overlook. Thank you.